Hey everybody, this is Vince Miller. Welcome back to the Daily. If this is your first time here, I want to encourage you to go to the website, grab a scripture journal like mine so you can take notes, follow along, write down convictions or prayers or special moments that you're having with the Lord so you can commemorate them and come back to them time and time again. Our text today is Judges chapter 8, verses 28 through 32. So Midian was subdued before the people of Israel, and they raised their heads no more. And the land had rest 40 years in the days of Gideon. Jerubbaal, the son of Joash, went and lived in his own house. Now Gideon had 70 sons, his own offspring, for he had many wives. And his concubine, who was in Shechem, also bore him a son, and he called his name Abimelech. And Gideon, the son of Joash, died in a good old age and was buried in the tomb of Joash, his father, at Ophrah of the Abiezrites. Now, at first glance, it appears that Gideon is finishing well. Midian is crushed. Israel enjoys 40 years of rest. He dies at a good old age. And on the outside, it looks like a success story. But beneath the surface, if you read between the lines, cracks have formed. Gideon has multiple wives, which he shouldn't have had. He fathers 70 sons. He keeps a concubine in Shechem, and he names that son Abimelech, which means my father is king. The very thing that Gideon swore off back in verse 23, kingship, he now lives out through his family legacy. And that guy's going to be king. His words said, God rules, but his life secretly and subtly proclaims, I rule. And those seeds of compromise would grow into one of Israel's darkest chapters, which you're going to see in the next chapter. You know, peace and faithfulness are not always synonymous. This is a time of peace, but faithfulness, it was not. I mean, we have been learning this all the way throughout the book of Judges. A patriarch can win a war and still lose his family and the next generation for the Lord. It can happen. And Gideon's drift, it's a subtle drift. You have to read between the lines. Shows us how legacies are shaped, not by big moments necessarily and big stories, but by the slow accumulation of bad choices over 40 years. A compromise in marriage, for example, an unchecked desire for status, a child raised in divided loyalties. These seeds eventually sprout into full-grown rebellion against God in the next generation. Just the next one. And guess what? You're planting seeds today. Your habits and your words and your faith or your lack of it will shape your children and your grandchildren. Gideon left Israel with 40 years of rest, but he left his family with a fractured legacy that would be absolutely devastating for all of Israel. Your true legacy isn't your success. It's your succession. Never forget that. I love you guys. I hope this blessed you, challenged you maybe a little bit, and I'll see you right back here again tomorrow.